Woo! Hey, how are we doing? It's JJ, and we are going to go off for a little adventure in the woods. I have got something exciting to try out. I've had this for about 6-7 weeks. Been busy doing other bits of filming. I need a fair bit of time to get this cracked out today. Let's go and do it. I'll catch you back in as we get to the woods. It's going to be a good one. Okay, a couple of minutes later, we pulled up to a local wood that I have been using a lot more just lately. It's only a few minutes sort of drive from the house. I've parked up. I'm going to get my jacket on. It is a lovely sort of sunny spring day in March, but in the woods it's going to be a bit chillier and there is a bit of a breeze, so I'm going to get my stuff out from the back of the truck, like a jacket and a hat on. Just had a fresh new haircut, so I'm going to put a hat on just to keep my head warm. I can't wait to get this done, so I'm going to pop you on pause and then we'll walk into the woods and I'll explain what I'm going to do without giving away too many details. Come on. Okay, we're in the woods. I know what you're probably thinking. It looks like a glorious day out there. The sun is shining, bright blue skies. But just because the sun's out doesn't mean the guns have to come out. So we're going to wander in the woods. I've just already got a couple of hazel staffs with me that were in the truck. And what's the idea behind this video? Well, do you know what? I'm kind of pretty well known in the last sort of few years, and that's not me blowing my own trumpet. In the UK, I'm pretty sort of well known as the Lavvu guy. You know, there's a few of us. I'm predominantly known for the use and the love and the passion for the Polish Lavvu. And we've all seen videos. Plenty of my videos feature a full Lavvu or a split half Lavvu. I've also done like the Lavvu that's sort of separated with a tarp between it, almost like a baker style tent. And there's lots of variations on the setups that people do, and I've used most of those. But I had a thought, what can I do? What can I do? How can I make my videos a little bit different? So I had a little bit of a think on some of the camps and that I've been to, some of the courses, the bushcraft courses that I've been to by people that run such events and that. And do you know what? I've been to a couple of events where they've had a setup, and I thought, do you know what? That's amazing for loads of people, but what about if you want to try it out just for yourself? So yeah, I've got something that's going to be really good. And you know what, the beauty of this is it actually aids some woodland management. I already have a few of the cut hazel staffs with me that I keep in my truck, and I've also got a few ready that I've also used that I keep in this wood, but I'm going to need a few more. And I'm going to need these hazel staffs, and in this wood there are plenty of stands of hazel, but they tend to get a little bit overgrown and they're not managed properly. So by me taking some of them, that's going to aid regeneration and regrowth of the hazel stands. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the wood proper. We're going to cut some more hazel stand and then we get going. So I'm going to pop these down. Catch you in a bit. So around me is a few good sort of hazel stands, and generally what you want to try and do is leave like one big, really sort of thick one growing, because that's where the main growth is. But then what you primarily get is you get loads and loads of like thinner sort of staves growing out, and if it's too many, it's never really going to get the growth. You're not going to get the bud growth or the leaf growth later on. So by taking a few of those out, you're actually aiding that hazel stand. You're going to encourage it to grow more healthily. Take away some of the dead standing if you can. That generally works. Generally what I'm looking is for, I've measured out the sort of lengths. I've got a rough idea of what I want, and I've got 3 of these with 3 of the ones that I've already walked in with, which can be cut into smaller lengths. And this is going to be one of the main features of the actual Lavvu configuration that I'm thinking about. So I'm going to carry this over to camp now, and then we'll start getting it going, and I'll tease the next little bit of what I'm going to get up to. So let's get this over to camp. Jacket off, beanie off. There's not much wind in the woods today, but it's always good to walk out with the kit that you think you might need in case the weather sort of changes. I'm nice and warm now. I've just taken my jacket off and I've just started to acclimatise to not having a jacket off. So this is one of the areas that I actually use in the wood. I actually have another load of hazel staves cut over there about 20 or 30 meters away, so I will grab those at some point. But I don't know if you can just make out this blue strap here with a carabiner. I've looked around the area. I've kind of been looking for either two trees of a nice distance between each other that I can run a ridge line, but because I'm using hazel, it's nice that I've actually found this hazel stand here behind me that's actually got a branch that's grown up and then down at a jaunty angle, and I've thrown a sling and carabiner over that and I've pulled down on it just to sort of check its strength and resistance, and it's spot on. So what am I going to do? Well, as I say, I'm really well known for my full Lavvu and half Lavvu setups, and I've looked at a lot of other configurations that people have done, and I've done most of them and I've tried them out. But you should always be looking to try something different. And as I say, I've been on quite a few, you know, like residential bushcraft courses over the last few years, and one of the setups that I've always really liked to use or be under is a parachute canopy shelter. You know, the big like ex-army parachutes that they rig up, and you all sit under there, you have a good fire going, you do your craft work, you do your knife and axe sharpening skills, you might do a bit of wood whittling and carving and other things like that, and that's great, and it gives a real good ambience and a bit of shelter from the elements. But I just thought, could you do that with a Lavvu? So obviously on a much smaller scale, but it will still give me protection from the rain, but it gives me a nice area that I could sit under and just enjoy some time out in the woods. So I'm going to start getting this rigged up. I'm super excited about this because I've got my modified Lavvu from a good friend, Sean Iverson, Northern Outdoors UK, and we're going to use that because it has got the hanger attachment on it. So I'm literally going to rig that up now, and then I'm going to start measuring out the hazel stands. Rather than just running loads of paracord down, I want to use a combination of hazel stands and paracord. So we're going to get going and I'll bring you in on little bits. I'm looking forward to this. Sorry, the sun's in my eyes. Oh, there you go. Right, let's get this going. This is a really good way of holding a length of stave really stable and secure off to the side of your body, so that you're keeping your leg protected, which just means it gives a nice cut. So we're just cutting these down to the lengths now, and then what I've also been doing is, not sure if that's going to come out in the video, yeah, see there's a little notch in that in there, so I've just been getting some notches cut into the tops, which I'm going to run the paracord over the top of. So yeah, we're just working on those at the moment. I've already got the Lavvu flaps in, rigged up. Bit of prep work involved in this, but if you did this on a morning, you'd be set up for the rest of the day. Can't wait. Last sort of stage of the hazel stand preparation is to just take the bottoms off, so they're just not completely smooth, flat and round going into the ground. So we just take a little bit of those off, just so I'll be able to tap them in with the head of the axe into the ground for getting the angle right and the tension. Just using an old piece of a dead tree here, so that the actual tip of the axe is not going into the ground, so it's dead. It's just propping it against the leg and the shoulder, holding it away from the body, just turning it slightly as we go, just to get the desired angle. But I'm pretty much done. We can actually start getting going now. We're just getting the last bit, the last section tensioned over, and this is just going to give you a rough idea. So I've got it rigged up. What I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to retension these. So obviously I'm using tent peg with a piece of guide rope up to the hazel staff. The paracord runs into that diagonal slot that I've put in, then across into the D-ring that are attached to the Lavvu. I'm bloody stoked for that. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go round, retension it, pull some of them out a bit further, just to get a really nice shape on it. But I am well happy with that. Well happy. There you go. We are all tensioned out. Got my Quetcher XL camping blanket from Decathlon underneath, with all my kit laid out under. As I say, it's all been tensioned out. It's all connected at the top. Guidelines coming off. How awesome is that? Absolutely stoked to bits with this. Absolutely stoked to bits. Can't believe how well that's come out. It's taken a little while to get going and get it set. But once you've done it once, you can make improvements. You'll work a bit more efficiently and you'll get it done quicker. We're going to stop. We're going to have a brew. Oh my days, that is just awesome. This gives you, sorry, I've got this off the tripod. This gives you 360-degree views. You could really easily lower this down by just adjusting the hanger on the tree and then just lowering the poles back and then retensioning it down, so you could drop it down really easy. Say the 360-degree views are absolutely fantastic. Still keeps a relatively low profile. You could fit 2 people easily easily under here. You could run, you know, like one-to-one little courses underneath this without taking up too much space. How cool is this? Watch this. You can stand up in it, and I'm 5'10". Brilliant. Now listen, I'm not saying this is a world first. I'm not expecting people to call in Norris McWhirter from Guinness World Book of Records to come in and verify this, but I have never ever seen this done. I've googled it, I've searched through videos, and you know, I know my Lavvu, but this, I think, for a Lavvu to be pitched in this way, I've never seen anyone do it. I'm claiming it, it's mine. I come up with the idea. It's brilliant. I love the addition of using the hazel stand staves. They just give it a little bit more rigidity, and it looks really good and that as well. And I'm totally stoked with this. Say, came up with the idea a little while ago. Do you know what? You could easily just move back like the camping blanket. I mean, this is a modified Lavvu, so I have actually got the arm flaps when it was worn as ponchos. I've actually got the zips in. They could be done up, twigs put between them to open it up. You could have a little fire under here really easy, and you know, with your hot tents and things like that, the fire's kept contained in the actual stove itself. But you know, on a day camp or something like this, you could actually have, obviously not on top of the camping blanket, but move that aside, clear the leaf litter and debris, you could actually have a fire underneath here. As I say, you could sit here with like another friend teaching skills on a rainy day. Perfect for a summer camp. Obviously not going to be that ideal for winter because it's so open, but I say easy to lower down. So there, oh, burp. There it is. My interpretation of a Lavvu parachute canopy shelter. Wicked. Give it a try. It's absolutely awesome. My idea. I come up with it first. Go try it for yourself. If you love your Lavvus like I do, give it a whiz. It's a totally new way of setting up. Fantastic. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch up again soon. Bye. Gone. Just got to show you that one more time. Oh, I'm so stoked with that. So stoked with that. Give it a try. Give it a try. Yes. Lighting a fire underneath a Lavvu. I mean, I've done it at the front entrance before, you know, two flaps open at the front, but never underneath a Lavvu. How freaking awesome is that? That is like just unbelievable. Unbelievable. It had to be done. Let that get going.